The top 4 couples compete on So You Think You Can Dance.
Joining them this week, we have Emmy-winning and Grammy-nominated singer, dancer, director and choreographer, Toni Basil. So, Toni, we all know you from your huge hit back in 1982, Mickey. What have you been doing lately?
Well, I'm working with the brilliant Bette Midler on her Caesar Palace Las Vegas show. I'm the dance director and choreographer.
Yeah.
And I'm about to embark on working with another legendary woman, Tina Turner, on her tour.
Great woman. Well, thank you very, very much for being with us tonight. Let's hear it for Toni Basil, everybody.
Well, you know, every dance style kind of takes a lifetime of work to achieve it. And for 2 contemporary dancers, I had so much fun that I actually forgot I was judging. And that's the whole point of it, you know? You want it to be seamless. I think the trick is, too, with samba, you tell me if I'm wrong, if it doesn't have that little Brazilian kick to it, it can look too much like jazz dancing. But I really thought you brought the life of the samba to it. And I really enjoyed it. And Well, aren't you guys lucky? Being choreographed by that reigning queen of contemporary dance. I wish it was me. You gotta do me a number, Mia. You know, Twitch, you really, really lucked in, because it was funk music also. So you should get on your knees and thank her, you know, infused some funk for you so that it became seamless. The contemporary and the funk was really beautiful. And Katie, you know, this is your dance, contemporary. So, wow. I didn't take any notes on this one either. I loved it. I loved it.
Toni, did they nail it for you?
I love this routine, and I know how difficult Tabitha and Napoleon stuff can be, because I take class from them every now and then.
You do?
Yes, I do. So I know that it's not easy to work their stuff, but it was great. But you know, you guys talk about tricks and the backflip and this and that. I tell you, that's not the underpinnings of street. The underpinnings of street, for me, is the ear, for a start. And I thought the opening piece was so fabulous. I thought the way you guys were rooted in the music, you were rooted in the beat, it was really joyful and it was terrific. And you know, there's always that squareness about hip-hop, but it's got to have that groove. It's just got to have that groove. And I really think you guys brought all of that together. And it was a great routine from you and from your choreographers. Yeah, I think Argentinian tango is the most street of all those kind of ballroom partner dances. And you need to do it really organically, and you really need to feel that it's not choreographed, that it's spontaneous and torrid. And you know, wow, that ending was spontaneous and torrid. Turns are not necessarily your great forte, but I think you did really, really well with the chaînés. There was maybe one turn where I saw hands a little bit too like, oh, Jazz 101. But you know what? I think the whole dance came together. She's gorgeous. I mean, how can you not relate to her in that way? So I really think that it was quite an accomplishment, and I enjoyed it. Well, you know, when I started out as a locker, one of the original lockers, street was considered kid stuff. It wasn't considered an art form. It's taken us a long, long time for America to really realize what a great American art form that all the different street styles are, from locking to popping to hip-hop to crumping to, you know, and yes, great art makes you feel something. It isn't just kid stuff. And with, you know, Tabitha and Napoleon's great choreography and great dancers, that can really, really happen. And I'm just glad to see it's happening, and I'm glad to see it's happening on this show. And I think that America will never feel the same about dance again after this show. All right, I'm going to disagree with a couple of things that you said. I think that when Twitch dances, I think he brings much more of a reality to the choreography then do Broadway dancers. I think Broadway dancers have sometimes a little difficult time in bringing something organic and feeling real. You know, they're used to imitating their teacher, imitating their choreographer. Twitch comes from street, so he dances from the inside out, as opposed to a trained dancer who dances from the outside in and has to find something inside. Katie's a beautiful dancer. I think she had a little bit more of a personality problem because the vocal that she was portraying was such a deep, rough voice. And I think I would have loved to have seen just a little bit more of a deep, rough approach to your movement that could have matched that vocal. But that's all I
can't disagree with that.
really have to say. I mean, you know, I think you both just did wonderfully. Well, okay, this is the second time tonight I have seen a turn done like this. It's like a recital. Turns should be, you know, this thing that takes the audience away, not point, turn, stop. And I think that, like, set the tone. I think Mark's, the jazz part was really good. Your lines are good. The power and the technique behind it is extremely difficult, because with these two accomplished dancers not really being able to pull off a foxtrot, it's just not as easy as the ballroom dancers make it look. You know that's a hard step.
Yes, yes.
It is, I know. So, you know, but I gotta tell you, your hip-hop routine was fabulous! Joshua, in the film that when they showed you rehearsing and practicing, you said you'd never danced disco before. Well, how could you possibly dance disco before? You weren't even born when we were dancing disco. So, you know, I think you pulled together the spirit of disco and what it was like in those clubs. Your lines probably aren't as long as maybe some of those, you know, the hustle step line was, but the spirit was so much there that is so important, you know, from that era. And you, my dear, have the lines. So between the two of you, I think you really pulled this off.
Thank you. Okay, it's Thursday, which means we find out how you voted last night. We have the very marvelous Toni Basil. Good evening. Now, Toni, you have had a long and illustrious career as a performer. I think we're going to see a few clips in just a moment. How hard is it for a dancer to master all those different styles?
Well, you know, I came from a theatrical family and ballet class, but when I went to transition into street, specifically locking, there were no classes being offered at all. I mean, I had to go out there and look for it and look for the people that were creating it, like Don Campbell and the Electric Boogaloos, and to grow. And then as your career grows, you want to get more information. So there's salsa out there, there's tango out there, there's swing out there. There's a lifetime of dances and dance styles out there that you can never really truly master, barely any of them, no less all of them.
Okay. But as long as the passion's there, you can go out and find it.
Well, I mean, dance is my addiction. It's my drug of choice, you know. It's
I think
just...
lots of people here feel the same.
Yes, I'm sure.